Welcome to our podcast, designed for psychologists, therapists, and counselors who want to take their business online and live a soul-nourished and profitable life without compromise. If you want to know the secrets used by practitioners just like you to navigate the global e-learning market successfully, then you're in the right place. I'm Dr. Talib, chartered psychologist, business mentor, and your host, and welcome to the Abundant Practitioner podcast. Power of questions that is required to skyrocket your success. Yeah. So questions are very, very important. The questions you ask yourself, the questions you ask other people, right, all have the ability to take your business from where it is to where you want to go to, right? And so I really want to discuss this because sometimes it's overlooked. Yeah. And so in the email I sent out earlier, I spoke about how questions can help you navigate challenges, right? The power of your questions can help you navigate your challenges, right? That are coming up, that you're seeing coming up, and flow through that. Questions have the ability to help you understand your business, right? Your audience, right? Your offering through market research. Right? Questions have that power to be able to do that. Marketing, questions enable you to create powerful, effective marketing. What is marketing? Marketing is how you communicate yourself to your audience, to your prospects, right? How do you attract an audience that hears your message and then comes forward and wants to hear from you, right? So the whole idea of messaging, yeah, the effective messaging. Businesses need effective messaging. A lot of the time I've spoken about before, often practitioners are not taught business skills, right? In terms of how to message, how to market their services, how to sell their services. And so when it comes to looking at a typical practitioner's website, often they're using their own language and not the language of what their audience needs to hear, right? So they may be using terms such as, I am a skilled licensed clinical social worker, for example, and I'm skilled in this methodology, and I've done this certificate, and I know EDMR and CBT, and these are words that just going over the heads of the people that you're talking to often. Right? And because we're using our own language, and the skill of marketing and messaging is to use the language that connects with the audience that you're talking to. If you've got an offer for a specific audience, are you talking the language that they need to hear? Right? And you've got to think about, sometimes you can talk directly to your audience if they're the people that are investing, but sometimes there's a two-tier approach. For example, let's say somebody's got a business that wants to serve young people, right? Teenagers. Yeah, the teenagers wouldn't necessarily be the people that are investing in the service. And so the language has to both appeal to the teens, but also those that are investing. Maybe it's the parents or other stakeholders. Right? And so your language matters. How do you develop powerful language? Is by understanding your market through questions, right? Effective sales, and I talk about soulful sales, how you can create sales where you are articulating how you can help and who you can help to people that need your help, and therefore they're able to step forward and say, absolutely, I'm ready for this. That comes through effective questions that you ask in consultations or meetings or in events or whatever, right? So questions, I would hope that you start to see and hear, are really, really powerful and necessary, right? In order to move your business forward, right? And they can have an ability to really scale your business rapidly once you learn how to ask yourself and others really powerful questions. Yeah. So let's start with the first point that I made in terms of using questions to navigate business challenges, right? Using questions to navigate sometimes the mindset challenges that come up, right? Sometimes people have, you know, and we're all subject to this, right? No matter what level you are at, no matter how long you've been running your business, right? I have been running my business for over 9 years now in the online world, right? And there's still moments where it's like, oh, the whisper comes up of like, oh, should we do it this way, right? Or can you really do this? Yeah. And it's about recognizing how you respond to the noise that comes up in your head sometimes, right? In terms of these thoughts that may creep up to put in questions that may not be serving you. So you have to be ensuring yourself that you're asking yourself questions that are empowering questions, right? You're asking yourself solution-focused questions. Yeah. Often people's minds shut things down with statements, right? It's not possible for me. There's no way I could, right? These are things that often sometimes the mind is challenged to just answer in statements, in statements, in statements, right? And you want to train your mind to answer yourself with questions. How would I make this possible for me? What needs to happen in order X to happen, right? If I was going to look to make this result happen, what kind of things do I feel I need to do next? Yeah. Where, like, asking yourself the questions, right? So it's about really recognizing, like, I want to be asking the right questions to myself, because then my brain can get to work to navigate solutions, right? To think about what are the solutions that could be there that are important in order to help me cope with this and help me move forward through this. Yeah. Let's say there is let's talk about today, right? So we normally have an email that goes out just before the time to say, you know, it's time. Yeah. Now, that happened, it didn't go out, right? So do I go into panic of like, the email didn't go out, and catastrophize and go into that space? Or do I ask myself a powerful question? The email hasn't gone out. What needs to happen next in order to be able to support the people that have been able to arrive on time and still be able to get an email out for those that need the reminder to help them be here, right? Mine can go to work on a quick creative solution, right? Okay, cool. I could, which I did, right? Ask for Gail's support. Can you help me to get this out there, right? Or I've just said, hey guys, let's pause a couple of minutes. Give me a moment to just send this out, right? And so the way you navigate challenge, because challenges will occur in your life, no one's immune to challenge, right? Challenges will come up, especially when you're striking out to do something different, great, amazing, right? God's called you forth to really raise up and just go for it. Challenge will follow. So how do you navigate that? It's very, very important to recognize, how am I going to navigate and shift through challenge? And the way you navigate and shift through challenge is through the power of the questions you ask yourself. It's, instead of using disempowering statements or disempowering questions, you start asking solution-focused questions, right? And giving yourself solution-focused statements. Your brain will go to work and find the answer. Yeah, so that's the first point I want to cover. Second point, market research. When you are in business, you should always be hearing from your market. Your audience is what I'm talking about here. The people that you are here to help, right? One of the things I talk about with my clients is getting, like, first things first, we get really clear on what's your mission. What's your mission? How are you here to help people? Who are you here to help? Right? Why are you here to help? What's the problem that you are here to help with? And we want to be able to articulate that really clearly and concisely, right? And so it's about recognizing, like, as you articulate who you're here to help and how you're here to help them and why you are in this position to help them right now, right? It's then being able to have your ears open, right? Your eyes open, receiving information about the problem, right? And about what they have tried, what is not working, what the challenges are happening, right? All of this is what you should be continuously, always listening to. This is not just in the startup phase, right? Of I'm going to put a business together, let me do some market research and never do it ever again. You should consistently be hearing and have channels in your business where you are understanding what's going on in your market, right? What's going on in your particular field, so that you can respond to that, you can talk to that, you can keep up to date with what's going on and how to maneuver, right? And so this is through, again, questions that will reveal these things. When you're in conversation with anybody that is on a similar mission, asking questions, right? What have you found happening within the market right now, right? What challenges are you hearing going on in the market right now? How are you currently navigating? What struggles are you coming up against, right? What's really been helpful? Okay, so it's not just also find out a challenge, what's actually working? Why do you deem that to be helpful, right? Also, I'm going to insert here, what is a question? This is going to be particularly helpful when you're navigating challenges. Questions start with who, what, where, why, how. Sounds very like, yeah, Talene, I knew that. But I say this because often people don't start with that, right? When I say, what question do you have for me? They're like, well, let me just tell you a story, right? In 1965, right? And they go back into a whole backstory of this, right? Which then takes them away from even their ability to answer their own question. So cultivating the ability to get your mind to ask question first, and then go into the understanding and the detail next, is going to be really helpful for you when it comes to navigating challenges, when it comes to conducting market research within your business, whether that market research is done through interviews, through polls, through surveys, through whatever, right? The art of asking questions is going to be very, very helpful. Okay, so that's really important to recognize that. And this then leads into what I was saying as well around how it helps you. The art of asking questions helps you navigate marketing, messaging. How does questions now lead into effective messaging? If I know how my audience articulates the challenge, the problem, the solutions they're seeking, what they have tried, why it doesn't work, right? What their constraints are, what they're hoping for, I can utilize the language of my audience to talk to my audience instead of utilizing my own psychobabble, right? And trying to communicate with them. So it's about recognizing, you know, the academic talk in the sense, right? Much of the people that come across me are highly academic. Yeah. As a practitioner, you've trained, you've been skilled, you have had to hand in assignments, dissertations, thesis, right? You've had to change your word. Don't say that. Say it this way. Can you articulate yourself even clearer? Can you go a bit deeper here? I've been here, right? And so what that can do is it can make you really think about, how do I speak? How do I communicate? And so when you're thinking about how you communicate, you divert back to academia. How was I taught to communicate at an academic level, right? But when you are communicating, when it comes to marketing for business, right? You are using techniques which is called direct response marketing, where you want to respond, you want to speak to people, you want to create connection. Connection is done by talking people's language. So you have to ask questions to understand the language. How do they talk about the challenges that are going on in their world, right? And utilize that in your marketing. Yeah. One of my clients, she helps BIWOC leaders who are exhausted, right? Just really like change their narrative, right? Really change their narrative of how they're going to move forward with their success. And, one of the things was like, when she came, she was always using the language around burnout. And when we spoke about this, she was like, my people they wouldn't even identify with burnout. They would not say that they are burnt out. They would say that they are exhausted, that they are tired, right? That they are being pulled in every single direction, but they still got to show up, right? So when we use that language, there's connection. When we use that language, there's consultations coming through. When we use that language, there's sales coming through, revenue coming through. So messaging matters, but how do you get effective messaging? It's through questioning, it's through active listening, right? And it's through utilizing that. Language matters, yeah? And then the other thing I want to say is language matters as well when it comes to sales, right? Now, often people have a perspective about sales is selling their thing. And when I talk about soulful sales is not about selling your thing, right? So many people have got so passionate about the thing they've created, right? I've created this program, I've got this practice, I just want, like, this is what you need, or, counseling is the way, or whatever, right? Whether it's the methodology or the business or the program, that is the thing, right? Now, you've got to recognize that while people may be coming to you and booking a call because they need help, and to gain help, they're going to need a service or a program or something that they're expecting to join. They're not coming to speak to you because of your service. They're coming to speak to you because they have a problem that they need help with to get a solution. So if you're going to change your sales into soulful sales, which can really see your sales percentage shift massively in terms of what happens for your business, it's about shifting your perspective about sales. Is that you're not here to sell a thing, that in a soulful sales conversation is to find out what are the challenges going on for somebody, right? Where do they need to get to through the power of questions, right? And asking specific types of questions. There's types of questions I teach on in the trainings on Soulful Sales in our academy, right? Which is like, are you asking questions that are specific questions? Exactly how many times have you felt yourself anxious in the past week? What about today? What about yesterday, right? Exactly how much, condensing it, honing in, understanding the real picture, as opposed to just being generic. Okay, talk to me about your anxiety, right? Questions. If you ask the right questions, you'll get great answers, because it allows the mind to go to work to the question it needs to answer, right? Other types of questions, right? Factual questions. Yeah. Factual questions, right? These, again, like these logical, factual questions. Exactly how much, or what have you done in the past to try to alleviate this problem, right? What have you done? Again, factual. Yeah. Sometimes people are in their minds, right? In terms of what's going on, you need to help the person that you're talking to come down into reality of what specifically is happening. Sometimes when I speak with people, right? When I speak with any person that comes into the academy, goes into, I have the conversation with me first, right? I want to make sure it's the best next step for them. And if it's not, I'll be totally open and honest if it's not the right time for them or whatever, right? My point of talking to somebody is never to sell them the academy, right? Is to find out what's going on for you right now and what do you need right now. And maybe the academy is what you need, but maybe it's not, right? And I'm not precious. I just want you to have the right help that you need, right? But I've got to ask some factual questions. Yeah. Exactly where is your business right now? Are we in startup phase or are you revenue generating? Right? Exactly how much revenue generated have you done? Yeah. So I'm bringing them into an understanding of what's going on. I get an understanding of what's going on. How much revenue you generated in June? What about May? What about April? Right? How many people have come forward to ask about your services? Where is that? Right? What's the profit margin on your business? Some of these questions I might be asking, they don't even know the answer to, but that then helps give clarity of like, actually, there's a gap in my knowledge here. Right? This is something I'm not even looking at. So if you ask questions, you can help people better, right? Other questions, yeah, readiness questions, qualifying questions. Not everybody that wants change is really ready for change, right? As a behavior change expert, my background is behavior change expert under the realm of health psychology, right? Not everybody that is like, yeah, I would love to stop smoking is ready, like in the readiness. Oh yeah, I really want to lose weight, right? I really want to get healthy. Is in a readiness. There's a desire and then there's a now, right? There's a cycle of change that happens. So questions that are related to that. Yeah, so different questions that are inserted into your sales structure will help you with your business and consultations, right? To be able to understand the person in front of you, for you to then be able to give them the right solution for them. A great way to think about this, right? Before we have a discussion on this, a great way to think about this is a doctor frame, right? Like when you go to a general practitioner or a doctor, yeah, they're going to ask you questions, right? And they're going to get really specific before they give the recommendation of what is needed. And that recommendation of what's needed is not because they want to push a particular thing, right? They've got to give you what is right for what you've come for. So if you go to the doctor and you've got a knee pain and they've got to do that in a tight window, right? In the UK, it's like 10 minutes. Yeah, like 10 minutes. How are we going to diagnose what's going on and give you an effective pathway, right? So I go into the GP and I'm like, hey, I've got a knee pain. Exactly how long has that knee been hurting, right? They're asking an exact question. Exactly how long has that knee been hurting, right? Does it hurt when you straighten your leg? Does it hurt when you bend your leg? Stand up for me. Let me touch here. Is there any straight into diagnose, like looking at what is going on. Are you doing that in your business, right? And then being able to marry that with the right next solution, and being okay that the right next solution might not be your solution, and that's okay, right? But if the right next solution is your solution, that you are also confident about suggesting that the right next solution is this is what I have available in order to help you with your problem, right? And this is how that works. How can I support you to really go for that? And it's the same with the GP. Let's say the next solution was something that was surgery or treatment or whatever. That would then need to be addressed by, this is what I would propose you do next, right? How can I help you prepare for that? Yeah. So really thinking about that as well can help you when it comes into the sales process as well. Okay. So I would like to hope that by giving you this understanding of questions, it really makes you think that actually the power of my questions gives me the ability to really change the way I do business and evolve my business.